Hi, and welcome back. It's Monday. It's the 28th day of August, and we're counting down the remaining few days in this 8th month of 2017. We're looking toward your Labor Day weekend with a great deal of questions, weather-wise, mostly. And most of that centers around just what will happen with what will be then the remnants or leftovers from Hurricane Harvey, which is still pummeling parts of Texas and elsewhere. And they're getting ready to have a repeat run-in with Harvey. And we're talking about folks like those in Houston and other parts of Texas seeing 50 to 60 inches of total rainfall. I just simply can't comprehend or imagine. We'll talk about Harvey briefly tonight, and we'll of course see what we know at this hour in regards to what effect Harvey might have on our weather forecast in the coming days. I'm approaching 2 inches of rainfall today. Rain's much more widespread today than I was actually even expecting. I think for that matter, for the same for a lot of folks. But nevertheless, your forecast, which does include widespread showers ending tonight, a little bit of sunshine tomorrow, but the shower chances start to come back into the forecast by Wednesday, and right now possibly ramping up by the end of the week and into our holiday weekend. On this day in our weather history, back in 1986, it was even cooler than this. Daytime recorded high of 67 degrees and a nighttime low of 50. Once again, back in 86. Certainly cool then. Certainly cool now, but not to that extent. Much more to talk about weather-wise in just a few moments. Several auto accidents to report to you tonight. A couple earlier today, a couple from over the weekend. The scene of one still ongoing over in front of Pop Chevrolet on US 23, which is a fatality-related accident at this time. We can confirm, and I'll tell you everything else that I know at this hour in just a few seconds. And, of course, football scores and a theft case that's been broken, but it covers many, many states with the investigation still ongoing. We'll get to all that and more in just a few moments. Got calendar announcements, of course, and other things to pass along to you before we leave you for a rather soggy Monday evening. Auto accidents will take center stage in the broadcast before we go any further in regards to that multi-vehicle crash that happened on US 23 in front of or near Pop Chevrolet. It actually happened closer to the entrance to the flea market. If you're going up what is commonly known as the Allen Hill, before you get to the Pop Chevrolet on the right, that flea market there, that's closer to where it happened. Now, I've talked to those individuals on the scene and a few eyewitnesses. It appeared to have involved a milk truck or some sort of a transport truck, an SUV, and several other vehicles possibly as well. It's been confirmed to me that it appears to also be a multi-fatality crash. We believe possibly 2 dead. The Floyd County coroner has been on scene now for quite some time. One of those fatalities also believed to be a female. As to what caused the accident, that's still under investigation. North and southbound lanes of US 23 have been closed for hours, expected to remain closed for some time, and I expect that I may even have some more details on that crash before I leave you this evening. But happening on Allen Hill near the Pops Chevrolet business there in front of the flea market. As far as what caused the accident, once again, still unknown at this hour, but possibly some more details to pass along. The weekend was a busy one for local EMS and law enforcement in regards to auto accidents. One involving a car striking a utility pole, the driver being cited for a DUI, charges pending in another auto accident, and a serious rear-end collision earlier this morning on 114. These are some clips and frames from a 2-vehicle crash on 114 at the junction of the Ivington Trestle there and Route 1888 Burning Fork. Before midnight on Saturday night, this gray passenger car reportedly was exiting Burning Fork, pulling onto 114, and did so pulling into the path of this white SUV, which was traveling east. The operator of the SUV refused medical treatment on scene and was not taken to the hospital. However, we have learned that the driver and passenger of the gray passenger car did sustain injuries and were taken by ambulance. They had to extricate or remove the driver's side door of the gray vehicle to remove the female driver. We also know that there was a male passenger with her. Both were taken to an area hospital. We're also told by local authorities that charges are possibly pending, this accident being investigated and worked by McGoffin County Sheriff's Deputy Brian Tipton. And then I've confirmed earlier today that charges are possibly pending in this crash. The driver identified as a Shauna Emmons. And this was the scene around 5:30 Sunday morning on Route 40, about 3 miles out of Sagersville. A single car crash involving a vehicle, a utility pole, and an earth embankment. The driver of the passenger car, for an unknown reason or possibly under the influence, says Kentucky State Police, left the roadway, went through the utility pole, went over the embankment. He was said to have been unrestrained, not wearing his seatbelt, and was semi-conscious and alert upon arrival of EMS and rescue personnel. The McGoffin County Rescue Squad, as I understand, used the jaws of life to cut the top of the car completely off in order to extricate the driver. They would have called an air medical service to transport him to a trauma center, but the weather had them grounded at that time. He was taken by ambulance to an area hospital, and transferred to the Pikeville Medical Center, and then flown to UK for what was said to be a traumatic and serious spinal injury. Kentucky State Police, according to reports that I have, worked the accident, and as I understand, the driver, Brian Jordan, was charged with driving under the influence in the second offense. Here you can see the posts, which were all in each cut on the car, in order for rescue personnel to remove the roof of the vehicle in order to get him out and try to get him transported as safely as possible. No other vehicles were involved. The investigation continues by the state police. And this is one of two rear-end type collisions that happened right in this same area earlier today on 114. As crews are busy repaving this section of 114, traffic has been slowed at times due to that ongoing construction. And on two occasions, it resulted in a crash, this one being certainly the most serious. This around 8 o'clock this morning, when traffic had slowed or was slowing, and a pickup truck, the rear vehicle of three vehicles involved, coming up behind them, a red full-size Dodge, came towards this passenger car, striking it in the rear and then pushing it into the back of another full-size pickup truck. And you can see the extensive damage done to the Kia sedan. The occupants inside of which were taken to an area hospital. I believe them to be from another county. I don't have the names of any other of the drivers or individuals involved, but I do know that the individuals in the front pickup truck drove themselves or one of their passengers to the hospital themselves after being cleared, with only minor damage done to that vehicle. And I believe the driver of the red truck, which caused the first rear-end collision, also was taken by ambulance to an area hospital. I do not know if any of the injuries were believed to have been life-threatening, but certainly some very fortunate people to have survived in that crash in the middle car. Yes, Logan makes the best truck bodies on the market, and they also have a fully stocked warehouse of dump body parts, PTOs, hydraulic pumps, hoists, anything you need to get back on the road. And they are a full-service steel and aluminum service center. They keep I-beam, channel, angle, pipe, round rod, rebar, expanded metal, sheet metal, and aluminum all in stock. And if you've got a big project, they do commercial manufacturing to your specs. Logan, since 1904. It's definitely the chili, that homemade, from scratch, hot dog chili smothering every inch of our famous footlong that makes it a one-of-a-kind taste. The only thing that can make it better is to get one for only $2.49 on Mondays and just $1.99 after 4 o'clock. Get our famous footlong with homemade chili any day of the week and get one for cheap on Mondays, only at your Sagersville Lee's.
Hi, I'm Attorney Jeff Lovely. At my law office, we're determined to offer you and your family outstanding, cost-effective, and responsive legal services. I can help you if you've been injured in a car wreck. I'll be in your corner if you have a DUI or other criminal charges. You can file bankruptcy and stop those harassing phone calls, or I'll fight for you and your children in divorce and custody cases. For all your legal services, contact me when it matters. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
Here's a new list of specials at Gateway. This Chevy Intervan runs great, cold AC, $49.90. This 2015 Commander 500 Camo ATV just traded for 72 miles. As new, save thousands. And a pair of RAV4s. This 2010 all-wheel drive, excellent price and payment. And this 05 RAV4 all-wheel drive, $5,900 or best offer. This 06 Crew Cab is a 4x4 and thousands below book at just $10,900. And most payments under $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sagersville. Wanting you to have a healthier life means providing access to quality, affordable health care. And to do exactly that, Hope Family Medical Center offers full dental care with Dr. Pratt and his team, a pediatrician team of 3 doctors and nurses and moms, complete health care by family physician Dr. Kelly Pratt and nurse practitioners Mildred Sizemore, Gail Faria, Shannon Conley, and Heather Blair. Behavioral health services with Kimberly Davis, with in-house lab testing and results, in-house x-ray and pharmacy, and all the caring, knowledge, and experience that these medical professionals represent
at Hope Family Medical Center.
August is hot, and so are the savings at Appalachian Wireless, where all smartphones are 50% off. The 64-gig Galaxy S8, normally $149.99, now $74.99. Sizzle! The GS8 Plus, normally $249.99, now $124.99. Scorching! Even the 64, 128, and 256-gig models, all 50% off. Forget it! 50% off all smartphones while supplies last. 2-year agreement required. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
The only difference in these washers and mowers from new is the incredible low price. And the same goes for tools, electronics, jewelry, games, and more at Parkway Gun and Pawn, where they buy and sell gold and silver and loan cash every day on just about anything worth $1. Stop by on Parkway Drive or call 349-PAWN. As the Johnson County Sheriff's Department and the Kentucky State Police continue to investigate and work the case of about a dozen vehicles broken into in the Cross Creek community of Johnson County days ago, other departments in this state and in other states as well are now also working cases that may have a common thread. Police have determined that they are all connected to the work of a Martin County woman and her Michigan boyfriend.
The actual date that Cross Creek theft happened was August the 10th, approximately 6:26 in the morning is when I got the first call. When I got to Cross Creek, started the initial investigation, started getting calls after calls of cars being broken into. After I walked a circle around the first 2 streets, found out a total of probably, I think it was 12 cars that was broken into. 4 cars had actually had damage where they busted the windows. Out of the first car that he broke into was what he actually stole out of, which is approximately $1,000 worth of stuff, which happened to be a firearm and a iPad. Fast forward to Saturday, I'm on my day off. The sheriff sent me the link from another news agency that Scioto County, Ohio, had arrested these 2 individuals. The 2 turned out to be Zachary Deming and Courtney Skylas. Courtney Skylas is from Beauty, Kentucky, and he's originally from Detroit, Michigan.
And Deputy Tussey says that when he called the Scioto authorities, that they determined that surveillance video from the Johnson County incident and those in Ohio showed the same suspects and same car. And when Tussey went to Ohio to question them over the weekend, the suspects admitted to using the internet to find upscale neighborhoods and target them for thefts, crossing many state lines, committing these crimes.
By talking to her and him, her especially, we're looking at a multi-state probably investigation of burglaries and stuff, possibly from Texas to Michigan. They went to Texas and Michigan all the time, and I do know that there's multiple agencies in Kentucky alone wanting to speak with him and her, and there's other agencies in other states that want to talk to him as well.
In Scioto County, Ohio, Deming is charged thus far with burglary, breaking and entering, obstructing justice, being in possession of burglary tools, and he's facing a great deal of other charges. While Skiles is charged with complicity to burglary and breaking and entering and obstructing justice, and also being in possession of burglary tools as well. They were arrested over the weekend in Ohio after several calls started coming in to those authorities that several homes and cars had been broken into. And the victims of one of those thefts tracked their iPhone to an area business parking lot. And at that nearby location, police say they found Deming in a parking lot where he was scratching off lottery tickets. And after questioning him, they found him to be in possession of a lot of the items that were just reported stolen moments earlier. Mostly personal items, cash, credit cards, cell phones, other electronics, And after being jailed, Deming is being held with no bond, while Skiles is being held on a nearly $170,000 cash bond as the investigation continues. Going back to a few statements that I made, as for the large amounts of heroin that authorities say they believe the two were bringing back from Michigan and possibly elsewhere, no other real details were given on that. We do know that Skiles is actually the daughter of Martin County Court Clerk Susie Skiles and her husband. We also know that Skiles was once at some time an employee of the clerk's office. We have not been able to confirm at this hour if she was as of late or recently, but nevertheless it's being held on a $167,000 cash bond and many, many, many more charges, it looks as though, to be filed against the two. One report quickly from elsewhere in a follow-up of sorts. It's now been confirmed since I saw you last from the military that 3 people have been confirmed to have died after that Black Hawk helicopter crashed off the coast of Hawaii during a nighttime training earlier this month. One of those confirmed to be dead, just as we had understood earlier based on statements with friends and family, was an Eastern Kentucky woman. The U.S. military medical examiner related to this case says that a North Carolina First Lieutenant, Catherine Bailey, as well as a staff sergeant from Kentucky, that being Abigail Malam, seen here, and a Tennessee soldier, Michael Nelson, are all 3 confirmed to have died after DNA tests confirmed that they were 3 of the 5 that went down in that helicopter crash on the 15th day of this month. 2 others have not been discovered, a Texas soldier as well as an Alabama soldier as well. Operations for the search were concluded, at least for the time being, about a week ago, while the crash is still under investigation. Abigail Malam, or Abby Malam, was a Letcher County native from Jenkins who had been serving as a helicopter repair personnel for the military for quite some time.
I'm attorney Don McFarland. We all know that times are hard, jobs are scarce. Most people that I know are struggling to support their families and make it through each day. Now imagine that you get seriously hurt while working on the job, and the insurance company for your employer refuses to pay wages and benefits while you are injured and cannot afford to pay medical expenses, household bills, and put food on the table to support your family. I can help. If you are being wrongfully denied workers' compensation benefits that you rightfully deserve, then give me a call and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
Yes, that's a 68 with an awesome 302, an updated 5-speed, over $6,000 in just recent restoration receipts, all with only about 70,000 miles. It's only at Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville. And this 07 Expedition Eddie Bauer, and this 2011 Nissan Altima, and this super sporty 07 Colorado are all drastically cut to sell quick. Come check them out at Broadway Auto Sales in Paintsville. Your community calendar is next. A few quick reminders and some other announcements to follow. First, these brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. And it starts off with a real special birthday wish, but I'm apologizing because, Cleo, I'm not quite sure why your name's not on the screen. I just typed it in earlier today with a nice, real pretty font, but it's not showing up, and I just really don't know why. So my apologies, but nevertheless, to Cleo Carpenter Harmon, a very happy belated birthday, but with a lot of love from Val and David, of course, and all the family and a whole lot of friends and all of us here at the newsroom and all of us from the Mortimer households as well. Happy belated birthday to Cleo Carpenter Harmon. I've got a whole lot of calendar announcements that really I can hold off for a day or two, and of course some of those will have to do with the upcoming Heritage Day weekend and more. But for now, just one quick reminder that even though it's August, it's the end of August, and it's time to be thinking about helping our Sagersville Masonic Lodge and their Coats for Kids program. They do this every year, coats and shoes for kids who really need them and really enjoy them and really put them to good use. You can drop a check in the mail to Sagersville Masonic Lodge, P.O. Box 936 here in Sagersville, or call our friend Paul at 424-6302. One way or the other, we just hope you can help a little or a lot. And we always hope you'll use the calendar for birthdays and anniversaries and announcement like you just heard. It never costs anything. You just have to tell me so I can tell everyone else. Now turning to funeral service announcements, a service provided by our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Services were held earlier today for Kenny Harold Blanton, 39 of Hurricane Road, who passed away on the 24th, Thursday of last week, the son of Ina Howard Blanton and the late Bill Ellis Blanton. Besides his mom, he is also survived by a son, Kendall Blanton, and a daughter, Shay Blanton. Burial was held at the Blanton Cemetery on the State Road. Once again, services held earlier today. Services are going to be held tomorrow afternoon at 2 in honor of 56-year-old Howard Adrian Russell of Gaines Howard Road, who passed away on the 26th, Saturday. The son of Don Wendell and Betty Rose Russell, who survived. He's also survived by his wife, Maria Russell, sons Brian Adrian and Wendell Chase Russell, and daughter Terry Danielle Russell. Visitation is this evening and up until services. They once again start tomorrow at 2, all from the McGoffin County Funeral Home. 77-year-old Joe Edward Hackworth of Riceville passed away this weekend, survived in Sagersville by daughter Jody Hackworth. He's also survived by 6 brothers as well. Services are going to be held Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock at the Jones and Preston Funeral Home. Visitation will begin tomorrow evening from 5 to 9. The Sagersville DAV will be doing full military rites, and in flowers, the family asks that you make donations to the Sagersville DAV Chapter 15 in Joe's honor. We also have just received word of the passing of another McGoffin County man. I have an announcement to be made in honor of 45-year-old Billy Joe Collinsworth of Sagersville. We know that he passed away earlier today, the son of Danny and Elania Sue Collinsworth, but arrangements, I'm told, at this hour are still being made by the family and incomplete, but to be announced soon by the McGoffin County Funeral Home. Stop by the seasonal shop for the 2 biggest events of the season and find all the help, gifts, and decor you need with baby and wedding registry, something extra special for the new arrival or that little one turning 1 or more, and wedding registry, ideas, and planning for everything from the ceremony to gifts to the home. And the seasonal shop also has thoughtful ways to honor memories of loved ones lost, with personal and gravesite decorations that they'll gladly deliver to our local funeral homes. Find something to cherish all your memories at Fraser's Prater Drugs Seasonal Shop in downtown Sagersville. A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months, no-interest financing, the best price and best selection at Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle, and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400. Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785. Well, we're right now, even though it's just Monday, we're always looking ahead, and right now looking ahead at what might be a soggy night for high school football this coming Friday. And, of course, that rain could also roll right on through the holiday weekend to some degree, depending on what Harvey, or what's left of Harvey, has to say about our local forecast. I'll have our local forecast in just a few moments, but before we crunch those numbers, let's take a look at a few from this past Friday night. The McGoffin County Hornets were on the road this past Friday night to Lawrence County. This was a regional matchup. The Hornets fell 14-55 final score. McGoffin County team, still a young team, still young season, 0-2 thus far, and they're still on the road. They're at East Ridge this Friday night at 7:30. Wait to see what the weather does to that game and all other football games. Actually, the Hornets aren't going to be back at home until they host Harlan on September the 15th. So we've got a couple of road games to go for a few more weeks. Johnson Central and the Eagles are up 1-0 on the season after they kicked off their season against Capital West Virginia. 31-20 was the final score. They are at Henry Clay this Friday, and they've got that and 2 more road games thereafter. They're not back at home until September the 22nd, hosting Boyd County. The Tigers had an easy way over Harlan, 37-0. Yep, 37-0. That's a 2-0 start to the season for the Paintsville Tigers. They're hosting Hurricane this Friday night at 7:30. The Bulldogs, as I just referred to, out in McGoffin County on their home turf, 55-14. They're now 1-1 on the season, 1-0 in the region, and they are at Prestonsburg Friday night. Also in Class 3A, the Cougars of Morgan County fell to Rowan, 36-54, the final score. And once again, that actually goes back to week before last. They had an off week this past Friday night. They're back in action September the 1st, this Friday at Jenkins.